going to follow through on this whole issue of the Western Hemisphere liberation by Mr. Trump. We welcome back to the show House Foreign Affairs Committee Chair, Mr. Brian Mast of the great state of Florida. Chair Mast, thank you, sir, for this. I asked Doug Burgum, you know him well, Interior Secretary, smart guy. We're going to control the Venezuelan oil for the foreseeable future, as we should. And my question was, will we cut off oil to Cuba? Because Cuba's, the Cuban communists, the Cuban KGB holding up Venezuela, didn't exactly answer me, Chairman Mast, and I wonder what you think about withholding Venezuelan oil from Cuba.
I don't have an answer as to whether that will take place. I have an opinion about whether it should take place. I think it should take place. We're shrinking the world for our adversaries. We just shrunk the world substantially for China, for Russia, for Iran, and we should be doing the same thing for Cuba directly in our backyard. We have a regime in place there that has been working against the United States of America every single moment that they get the chance. We should hand them nothing. We should let them know just how much they're on the ropes as everybody else that's working against the United States of America. No holds barred.
I think, first of all, I agree with you 100,000%. I bet you Mr. Trump does. I bet you Secretary of State Marco Rubio agrees with you also. Cuba's like the grade A1 trouble. You know, if you want to keep the Venezuelan communist regime, the Chavista regime, the Rodriguezes and so forth alive, it's the Cubans in Venezuela that are going to do it. So I don't know how, you got to take forceful steps at some point.
It's a different world post absolute resolve. And nobody should gloss over this. For Cuba, they've lost their most strategic partner in our hemisphere, that being Venezuela, somebody that they worked very close with. But again, for China, Russia, and Iran, their most important partner in all of the Western Hemisphere in Latin America and South America was absolutely Venezuela. Their world got that much smaller. Their influence got that much smaller because anybody that was out there purchasing their weapons system is looking at that saying, wait, their weapons systems performed in what way? The United States was able to go in there and do what against their systems? Their influence shrunk. Our world's getting bigger. Their world is getting smaller.
You know, I don't, Brian, I'm looking at the Wall Street Journal this morning, front page. Well, Trump works to dominate Venezuela oil sector, right? That's easy. But then you've got this article, Trump doctrine confounds allies and foes. Chairman Mast, what is so confounding about a president who wants to kick the communists out of the Western Hemisphere? In other words, I call it the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. What is so confounding about it? And by the way, he's succeeding. And by the way, there's probably more good news coming to Colombia. But you got my point. What is so confounding? What don't they understand about getting rid of communism from the Western Hemisphere?
I think it's confounding to people that like to say, oh, peace through strength seems like a good idea, but don't really have the strength to put forward strength. You know, you look at Europe and you look at the way that they're being affected by immigration, not having the same strength to react against the immigration that's affecting scores of populations across France, across the UK, across other places. It takes strength to actually put forward a peace through strength policy. President Trump has that. So many others haven't had that. They like to talk big games, but it confounds them when you really actually go out there and say, you know what? We're going to defend our backyard. We have the most capable carrier battle groups anywhere that anybody can conceive of. We're going to bring them into our backyard to protect ourselves from drugs and narco-terrorist dictators and anybody else, because that's the #1 place that they belong. They're paid for by American taxpayers. Let's use them to protect American taxpayers, and let's give a show of force of what the capabilities are that we can bring to bear so that everybody out there, whether it's Japan, whether it's Australia, whether it's South Korea that's in the ASEAN region, looking at the world saying, you know what, did we make the right choice in who our partner is? Yeah, we made the right choice. Look at what America can go out there and do.
Oh, that's a great point. Boy, strength begets strength. You're so right. It's a wonderful point. The other thing, Chairman Mast, that occurs to me while you're saying this, particularly after what we did to the nuclear plants in Iran, and maybe there's more work there to be done, I don't know. But here's my point. The power of oil is so important to world affairs. The power of oil is now moving back to the Americas, not the Persian Gulf, to the Americas. Canada, United States, Venezuela, Argentina, et cetera, when this thing is done. This is part of the genius of what Trump has done. We are shifting the locus of oil power back here to the Americas where it belongs. What you make of that?
Let's layer Venezuela and China and Iran on that conversation. So with Venezuela, of course, we had the oil being moved by Russian ghost fleets, but ultimately going to a black market for China. Every little bit matters. Might not have been the largest amount, but it absolutely matters to China. You layer that upon Iran. 99% of Iranian oil is going to China. So if you're affecting that market, if there's upheaval in Iran, if there's people in Iran right now, the leadership, the Ayatollah, conducting concepts of operation about how they might have an escape plan to Moscow or somewhere else, that's an upheaval for what is Chinese oil, their ability to get the hands on the oil that they want. Again, it's just resetting the capabilities for United States of America versus our greatest adversary, which is China.
And drill, baby, drill. You know, Reagan, I worked for Reagan many years ago. Reagan always said, when you're strong at home, you're strong abroad. And so the economy at home, with tax cuts and drill, baby, drill, and deregulation and reciprocal trade, is going to show strength like we haven't seen in 40 or 50 years, Brian. So we're going to be strong at home and strong abroad. That is what Trump understood. Trump's a better historian than the historians, Brian. Trump's a better economist than the economists, Brian.
It's beautiful. I can't argue with any of that. It's a beautiful thing. Obviously, we've seen in the past lower tax rates bringing in higher tax receipts for the United States of America. So you're going to see growth on those fronts. It's just beautiful to see. And in the end, you're getting to tell the American people, you know what? You get to go do more with more because you went out there and earned it. Finally, let's ask the United States government to do more with less because it's all your money.
Terrific stuff. Foreign Relations Chairman, Congressman Brian Mast, great state of Florida. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it very